Nap sounds really nice right now. There is a lie that we're usually told. This lie goes along the lines of your actions don't matter, life is meaningless. Lies like those. I believe these lies are lies that lead us to live dead lives. Lives that we think don't matter, lives that we think are meaningless, lives where our actions don't change anything. And I think that is the greatest lie that we were ever told. I got into this question through this Reddit thread that asked ChatGPT, what is the biggest lie, the greatest lie that humanity has ever been told? I'll include a link to that one down below. But the thread essentially said the exact same thing, or the response from ChatGPT said the same thing, which was that we are lied to, that our lives are meaningless, that they do not matter, etc. The ultimate conclusion that it reached that I thought was really exciting was that we are the universe experiencing itself. If you want to take away God from the equation, if you want to take away anything like that, at the very most fundamental level, we are the universe experiencing itself. If we're truly just dirt that's been rearranged into these bodies that we inhabit and exist in, at the bare minimum, again, we are stardust that has formed and shaped into these incredible creatures with hands and feet and eyes to perceive the world, mouths to communicate, brains to perceive, and to experience and to tap into consciousness, whatever that is, that no one knows what that is. And it again is the universe experiencing itself. What an incredible, breathtaking, and frightening thought, all at the same time. And with that in mind, we're going to talk about life. And one of the most important topics in life is the topic of agency. I'm gonna go surf, come along with me. It's my friend Tanner. He's pretty good at surfing. He loves to acid drop in. That's a great use of free will or agency to get better. But the topic at hand is, how do you enact more agency? I look at agency as different than action. Action is just doing something, whereas agency is doing something with purpose or something greater in mind. Fortune udon, chicken flavored noodles. Oh, a double yolk, look at that. We're gonna take our spoon, we're gonna shift the oil over, and we are just going to take some of our oil, some of our butter mixture, just lift it over the top, just to get a little bit more cooked. Okay, so back to the topic of agency. I got my notes. Okay. We talked a little bit about this in the corridor as I was walking over, but there is action in life. Action is what leads to change, generally speaking. What does action look like? That looks like you may be filming this video. Looks like asking the girl on the date. That looks like making that call at work. But then there's agency, and agency is if we think of action as maybe the bottom of the totem pole, agency is where you get a bit higher for going towards the top. It might be at the top. I'm not really sure. I'd love to know someone else's thoughts. But agency is when you are taking action with purpose in mind. It's being driven by purpose. So me maybe going to the wave, the purpose there was to really get outside, spend some time with friends, enjoy the weather, exercise a little bit. So there was some agency in that. There's agency when you make food, you're doing it with a purpose, which is to feed yourself. Versus an action could be maybe playing a video game. You're doing it to entertain yourself, but maybe you're really doing it more to distract yourself. Agency again, let's think of an example. A good example of agency, at least, is let's say I wanted to get a promotion at work. What's the agency I could do to do that? Well, if I was a BDR or an SDR, it'd be maybe making account plans, it would be calling people, it'd be making email schedules. I'm a pre-sales person, so for me, it's intentionally spending time learning about the product every single day. It is spending time researching clients before we get on calls with them to understand what is their niche, how do they operate, what does their business look like, how could I relate what I'm about to tell them into maybe what their day-to-day lives are like or what they're doing at work. So it's the higher level of action. I think agency is really one of the keys to living an extremely fulfilled and wonderful life. When you take agency towards things, or when you have agency in your life, you are putting the things that you want, the priorities that you want, towards the top of the list, and you're working on that. You're doing that more than you're just taking actions. Actions can be pretty neutral, although they can move you forward or backwards. They're generally speaking pretty neutral. I'm gonna keep eating this. The next maybe natural question you're gonna ask is, how do I increase my agency? How is that done? What is the process we're going about it? The key thing that I do is I identify what are actions that I'm taking that are getting me closer to the goals that I want, the things that I want, whether that is a family, whether that's a new job, starting a business, it could be whatever you want, a new yard. I have lots of evidence of the new yard that I'm making with my brother, although I would argue he's higher agency on that than I am, but that's another discussion. It's identifying the things you want, and then making sure that your actions align with your stated desires and goals, or what you think you want at least. Nothing is more insufferable than the person who complains about where they are, but does nothing. That, as referenced slightly earlier in this vlog, whatever this is what I would consider a dead person. It's just complaining about wah, 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 nothing ever changes. Woe is me. It's like, you have the ability to quit your job. You have the ability to find a new job. There's plenty of places hiring. Just get the new job. Go get it, or quit and find something else. Most people would rather sit there and complain about it. My advice to you, if you want to make life more enjoyable to yourself and to everyone else around you, I would advise you not to do that. I think that puts you in a less advantageous position for people to want to spend time with you, for people to want to invest in you when you're being negative or when you're complaining about the situation. And I'm not going to go gung-ho and say you always need to be positive about it. You always need to be looking for the bright side of things. There is probably such thing as being too optimistic. I say that as a person that would self-label as ruthlessly optimistic. But complaining does nothing except for make you more frustrated and then make the people around you want to not spend time with you. Tough spot. I've determined there are 3 tips on agency. Number 1 was deciding your goals and making sure your actions align with your goals. Number 2 was to not complain. Number 3 I'm going to think of right now. Number 3 is a pseudo life hack, but it is to get an adequate amount of sleep. It is to make sure you are spending time reflecting on your day. Kind of goes in tandem with number 1. But it's making sure you're able to make the most of every single day. That's by being organized. That's by getting enough sleep. That's by identifying what your priorities are, taking care of them, which then gives you more time, ideally, to do the things that you need or you want to do that are those higher agency actions, that are those higher priority items that are going to get you to where you want to go. There's a few ways to do this. We see them all the time. We see maybe to-do lists. We see the Eisenhower method, if you've seen that. It's like the 4 quadrants of urgent, important, urgent, non-important, non-urgent, important, not urgent, not important. Example. Other ways to actively measure and track your productivity towards your goals. But those are just some thoughts. I'm a journaler, and then I have I think it's in here. Yeah. Got this guy. Used to be pretty good at documenting my days, and I would have I would kind of monitor everything for like a month. I'd have little X marks if I was doing things that I wanted to do. I was working on a business or whatever it was. So yeah, that's one thing you can do. Just some options, laying ideas out there. Yeah. Part of being high agency, this is in action. We are fixing something in our yard right now. So we've completed our kind of fire pit area. We got all this black mulch down. Need to finish this section right here. We've got this nice fire pit, white rock, black mulch, kind of fun. Nice pathway. Did all that. We need to figure out what we're gonna do over here. We think we're gonna put down some garden rail or whatever that black stuff is. This is all gonna be filled with mulch. But right here is what we're gonna solve right now. I think what we're gonna do is we're going to take this, stretch it out, make it flat, get it right there, and I'm just gonna hammer this on the ground. That seems like the most reasonable solution, so that's what I'm gonna do. Thanks for watching my video on agency. I'm gonna make another video at some point walking through what I do personally to ensure greater agency out of myself. I think that could be the word for the week, potentially. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and tune in for the next episode. Peace.